check it, check it, check it out, check it out, check it out.
What's good, YouTube? So I'm in the process of installing my matching bucket seats so I can finally have all seats matching with triple X seats. I wasn't planning on doing a video, but it's a little bit more involved than I thought. So since I have the cage, the height dropped down a little bit. I'm pretty sure if I was running the stock cage, I would have been good. But what I noticed after installing them on the first one here, on the regular, how they come, stock fitment seats, the triple X does sit a little higher. Still have my stock seat on the passenger side, and I installed it correctly, sat in it, and I felt like I was too high up. So my next option was to come down onto this one, and I did so, but the seat was hitting on the top one. So if I was to do that, I would just not be able to slide the seat front or back. Let me place it in place. If you can see, I already cut a piece here with my Dremel. Pretty easy. All you pretty much do is make a line with the Dremel, and then you work it back and forth, and it should snap right off. But let me put the seat so you can see where it hits. Alright, so I got the seat on kind of like how it would sit. So here, there's a lot of clearance, but when you want to go down, it hits. So you can, I was able to clear it. It's not going all the way down at the moment, because I did attempt to bend these to see if it cleared, and it does clear if you bend them, but it just looks too out of place. Just the look at it, or with them bent, the ears bent, it doesn't look right. So I decided to cut instead. But it hits down in the seat. There's this, it's hitting right now because it's bent, but it goes up in here. These ears go up in this area, and it prevents you from moving. Same to the other side. So the best option is to cut and kind of lower your seats, which is no problem. I'm gonna feel more comfortable, my head being lower anyways. And I did think about going lower when I installed the cage. The fitment was good, but it's gonna be even better this way. The other thing I'm gonna do is get the spacer, and I'll probably cut it in half. I'm not sure if maybe it's 2 inches, but I'll cut it in half, or about 1 inch of a spacer, and then place them in the back. These spacers usually go back here, but you won't get enough clearance. It's just gonna sit better, otherwise you're gonna be too lean back. So I'll cut it here in the middle and see how that works. But just wanted to do this video to show you guys. I'll try and do a time lapse on the passenger side so you guys can see from the heads, from start to finish, how it works. I also did buy these quick release, so if you ever need to remove the seat, you just do a quick release on it, and you don't have to be unbolting from this area. All you do is, this goes in that ring, and then you just remove it. I did it on my rear ones, so luckily Amazon delivered right now as I'm doing this. Just wanted to update you guys on if you're ever installing triple X seats on the Can-Am and you're using the stock rails. It's super easy to get the seat in here compared to the bench. It's 4 screws. What I did was I undid the 4 screws, undid the seat belts, and the seat came off. The only thing that was holding it in place was the slider. So in order to, I didn't want to remove the rails So in order to bypass that, I'm not gonna be using these seats again. So I just cut a piece right here just to get that rail bar through here. So there you have it. I'll finish this side up and then I'll show you guys how to do it on the other side. So this is the side I'll do a step-by-step on. I am all finished with that side. Came out pretty good. So your first thing you want to do is remove your seat belts. Mine's are the PRP ones, so I had already installed these like this. So I'm gonna get these off and then I'll get back with you guys. Also, to add on this, I'm using a size 18 millimeter for the nut, and for the bolt it's a 5/8 or 16 millimeter. The seat belts loosened. I'm gonna try and make this the video as short as I can. So if you never removed these before, these front ones are 13s. It has a bolt and a nut both sides, and then the rears is a size 18 millimeter right here and right there. Once you remove those, the seat should come off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera. So the seat's all loose. You just have to work it out. In order to remove the rails, it's only 4 screws right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You take those off and the rails comes loose. I'm not gonna take them off just yet. I'm gonna do the prep work over here. So we're gonna remove these. I already cut one of these. So here's where we're gonna do that time lapse. Like I said, you could bend these to the sides in order to get the clearance you need. I decided to just cut here. You just cut the ear off and you should be good. So I'm gonna cut maybe one for you guys and then I'll do a time lapse on it. All right, here we go. So that's about how much you need to cut. I really only dig in the edges and then it pops off pretty easy. So you just bend it. Oops. Let me shorten this. So you just move it back and forth and then it comes off pretty easy there. All right, so we got them all cut. Just gonna spray a little bit of water and soap and just clean this area. That way I can spray it with a little bit of paint, spray paint, black spray paint. So you may probably want to do like a professional paint job or something. I really don't mind. So what I did, I cut this bag, put this bag right here just to cover like the main bar, because I only had gloss black, so that's what I'm spraying it with. All right, that's one coat. Probably do 2 coats. The main thing is just getting these edges covered. let that dry, and then I'll give it another pass. While I'm letting the paint dry, I'll go ahead and start removing these seat rails. Just break them loose and I'll remove them with my electric wrench. Depending on what type of seat you get, the XXX already has the frame is metal, so you don't need to use this one. This one, it's plastic, so that's why they run that metal piece there. So you're gonna only reuse the 4 bolts. Put this back. And let's see, for this part, you're gonna need to remove this rubber grommet. There we go. And the way you remove, let's see if we can get it on camera. The way you remove this one is by, once the rail is off, you pretty much twist the rail, get it out of there, and both of them come off. Mines are still attached to the seat belt, so I'm not gonna take them off. I am gonna go ahead and clean these rails, that way they can slide easier. I don't know if, I think I sprayed some type of lubricant at one point, that's why they're super dirty. I'm not gonna spray anything this time, I'm just gonna clean them up and leave them how they are. So it could be difficult for you guys to install these if you're ever doing it the first time, just because if you don't leave this locked and you lose position, the one that, or actually is this one has to stay locked, or if it loses position, then you have to make sure they're both in the correct track. This one that doesn't have the lock, this one you can move. Once it's clean, it'll move easy. Right now it doesn't move easy because it's dirty, but once I clean it up, it'll move easy. And this one is the one you adjust with. So you let this one stay in place, the one with the rail, and then this one you adjust so they're both on the same track. So let's clean them up. Let's start this side. So like I said, just soap and water. So I'm gonna try something different. On my last one, what I did was I installed the rails on the seat and then I placed the seat. Where this time I'm gonna put the rails on first and then put the seat over it. So these are my spacers cut in half. They're probably like, let's say, a centimeter off. I don't know if you can tell there. And then these aren't grinded down, but if you have concrete, just roll on your concrete, so all the sharp stuff gets off of them. They're not exact, but it's all right. So got my spacers there, got my seat rail. So let's see how this works out. Pretty much experimenting, and it also allows you to be able to put these screws on there a lot easier. Alright, so I don't even know if this is gonna work out. I'm experimenting, like I said. This is just since I struggled on that side to put these bolts, that's why I thought about this, because you can't really see with the stock seats. You can you have this much space here, and you can work these bolts underneath. Since we're using the lower position, we no longer have this space. The bucket seat sits right on top of here. and you have to be under here to work them in place. I also didn't show this, but I bented this bar here. Pretty much what I do is I hold it and I bend down when it was off. That's how I did it. That way it can clear this side. The other way, when they're not bent, it's gonna sit in here, so it's not gonna let you move the seat backwards or frontwards. And let's throw these on. I might go ahead and just tighten these bolts, because if it works out, I won't need to struggle to put them back or tighten them back. Before I try on the seat, while I have this empty space or enough space, I'm gonna go ahead and install my quick connect or disconnect. So this is another part you don't have to do. I'm just going with these quick releases for the harnesses. So I'll go ahead and install these. I did put some Loctite on these. You could either place them upwards or downwards. It's really up to you. What I didn't really like was that the nut is not a locking nut, but we'll see what happens. I'll keep an eye out on them. That's why I used the Loctite, to kind of prevent it. The only thing this does is that it makes it easier to remove the harnesses, to remove the seats. Alright, go ahead and place the other one. For those that don't know, this goes into the harness, and this allows you for the quick disconnect. It just latches in there. It won't lose its place. It's pretty secured. There we go. So this is the new seat. Just gonna sit it there for now. And this one just comes off. They're like Velcro. So I'll keep that to the side. So all I'm looking to is to align these holes. That's where the bolts go, right there and then over here. So I'm gonna align the ones with the locking rail first, and then I'll work on the other ones. I'm gonna do this as a time lapse just to cut time, but it's pretty simple. 2 bolts on each side. Much all set up, just putting the harnesses on. So I got my quick disconnects. Just wanted to show you how they work. So it just latches on there. But the only downfall is that depending on how tight you wear your seatbelt, if you leave it a little loose, this is gonna be kind of like rattling. But if you're blasting the music, then it's no problem. The other thing with these bolts, if you can tell from here, I do have to push on the material here in like this when installing. That's kind of like the biggest pain. And then if you see these here, make sure you don't get it under the bolt. That's another thing. You have to kind of move it out of the way to get the bolt in there. 3 of them went in good, and then the last one I kind of struggled. And the same thing happened with my driver's side when I was installing them. So the only thing I have to do right now is tying up the rear seats, put my other harness on, and then we should be good. I also wanted to kind of touch on this bar. So if you can tell, I bent it down in a way that way it's still functional. Otherwise it was sitting on top of this bar, and when I would retract the seat backwards, the hook there would hit here. So I found this way to work. The seat comes forward, this latch comes underneath. The seat doesn't go all the way forward, so I don't have to worry with this latch hitting anywhere here. So that works out. All you have to do is bend it, use a little force to bend it down. Alright, so just wanted to close out this video. Got everything hooked up. Harnesses, seats are good. Check this little bag out. It's really convenient. If you do decide to get some aftermarket seats, that helps a lot since I don't have the door bags. But pretty neat. Got the matching set in the back. Now I just have to get them dirty so they all match. This is the outcome. Like I was telling you guys, you lose the fitment here for your hand to be able to take them off. So then you have to work with them underneath. That's why I installed the rails and then put the seat over it. But since the seat's all the way back, we have a little bit more access. Still not essential like before, but not bad. Here's my paint job. These edges aren't sharp anymore. Feel free to comment if you have any questions. Hopefully this video helps someone. Like I said, I wasn't thinking or planning on making a video, but after I saw it was a little bit involved, I'd rather just make the video. I learn a lot from YouTube videos, so anything I do, I'd rather put it on YouTube and someone could have an idea. There must be a different way to install these. This is just the way I did it. I don't think there's a correct or right or wrong way. So hope this video helps a lot, like I said. And comment, subscribe, like, share. Thank you guys again for watching.